Welcome to Conversations Live. For more than a decade, we've brought you the best in books, entertainment, celebrity interviews, and current events. When the movers and shakers of the world have something to say to you, they say it to us first. Here's your host, Cyrus Webb.
Welcome back, everyone, to Conversations Live. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. Glad you all could join us once again. But for a radio audience tuning in at WYAD 94.1 FM and WYADonline.com, we're glad that you all could be with us. Also, those joining us through our friends at iHeartRadio and Amazon Music Podcast, we're glad you all could be with us as well. Today, we're talking about the workplace. It's something that's been in the news a lot. As we know, for the past couple of years, definitely the way that we work has definitely evolved. And I think a lot of changes have taken place. Many people are looking at new opportunities. We're here to talk to us about the workplace as it stands right now and the future of work. We're excited to welcome Cory Stahle to our program today. Cory is an economist for Indeed Hiring Lab. He's going to talk to us about something that's really interesting, which is the 2023 Workplace Trends Report that was put out, and also where you guys can go for more information to find out about the workplace trends. Cory, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So this is really interesting. It's something that we've been talking about a lot, especially over the past couple of years, about the changes in the workplace. So talk to us about the 2023 Workplace Trends Report, Cory. What were some of the things that stood out to you there?
Yeah, so some of the things that stood out, before we jump to the trends, I would just kind of give a little context in that what this report is this is a report where both Indeed, which is the number one job site in the world, and Glassdoor, which is the worldwide leader in workplace insights, kind of came together to join forces with our data. And from that data, what we saw was that the kind of tight labor market, kind of challenging hiring positions that the employers have been facing in the last couple of years are something that we expect to see continue into 2023 and beyond. We also saw that in the data that remote work, just something that really kind of picked up steam during the pandemic, is something that we see that has continued and we expect to continue to go forward. And then the last few kind of results and points that we saw in this report were that employers really need to think about the benefits that they're offering and really offer top-notch benefits to attract workers and to think about the company culture that they're promoting because we've seen that happiness and well-being in the workplace is something that makes a big difference in terms of employee retention, with a lot of employees being a lot less likely to go and look for jobs if they say that they're satisfied at work. And the last kind of big thing we hit on in this report is that the employers really need to think about diversity and inclusion programs, or these DEI programs, and how they can offer these types of things and promote more equality, especially in leadership. We found that about 2/3 of the younger generation said that they would walk away from a job or turn down a job if they didn't see equality in the gender or race terms among leaders in a company. So that's just at a high level some of the things that we found in this report.
Yeah, Cory, one thing I noticed when I was prepping for the segment, I had gone over to Indeed.com, and one of the things that stood out to me was that understandably pay is a high priority, but also flexible work arrangements. Were you surprised by that, or kind of seeing the trends you've seen over the past couple of years, that makes sense to you, that people are looking for that flexibility when it comes to work?
Yeah, I think that's definitely something that I feel like wasn't necessarily surprising because we've heard some anecdotes around that, but I think it was probably surprising as to the overall magnitude of that. And what we found in some of our data was that, as you mentioned, pay was the number one reason people said they were looking for jobs. But just behind that, especially for women, they were saying that the second reason they were looking for a job, the second biggest motivation, was that they wanted remote work. And so I think that is very telling, like as you said, that it's a pretty significant portion of people who are out there looking now for remote work. And I think that's a big reason why we say that remote work is here to stay, that even though every job can't be done remotely, we see that when the labor market is tight and employers are having a hard time finding people, that means that job seekers have the upper hand and they can then ask for more things like remote work and really kind of use that bargaining power to get that type of flexible work arrangement.
Yeah, I love that you mentioned bargaining power, Cory, because I think this is one of the things that's been interesting. I know for myself here at the radio station, I've been able to do a lot of remote over the past couple of years, and then we kind of incorporated that in our regular schedule for a lot of the broadcasters because it does one, allow us to be to be able to do it easier, but also we're able to sometimes get opportunities with guests and that kind of thing that we couldn't get necessarily in the studio. What do these trends really mean for employers and job seekers, Cory? From what you've seen from the report, what do you think it means about the future going forward?
Yeah, great question. So from the job seeker side, we've already touched a little bit on the bargaining power, which means that really job seekers, as they're out looking for work, should really know that, again, they have that upper hand, that as they're looking for jobs, they can maybe be a little more picky about which jobs they're going to take. And when they kind of get into that negotiation process, that we all absolutely love when we're looking for a job, that they can, really use some of that bargaining power to ask for things like remote work and to push for different benefits and different options. From the employer side of things, I think that this is really something that this report is really helpful for employers in particular, because it kind of gives a little bit of an insight into the mind of job seekers about what's important to job seekers and also to the employees. Because when we take the Indeed data of job seekers and Glassdoor of what employees are saying about their jobs and combine that, we get really an insight into that. And so employers should be thinking about, is this a job that can be remote? Are my benefits competitive with what other employers are doing in my same industry? What am I doing to promote happiness and inclusion and belonging in the workplace? And I think that those are very important questions for employers to be asking. So they have a little bit of some opportunity here to take a look at what they're doing to remain competitive during this kind of challenging hiring time.
Exactly. Well, Cory, we're glad that you could be able to share this information as part of this first-time partnership with Indeed as well as with Glassdoor to kind of walk us through the data. Where can our audience go for more information about the report?
Yeah, so if people want to know more, they can actually go and read this report on hiringlab.org, and they can see everything there, and also some of the other research that we're doing about the workplace if this is the type of thing they're interested in.
All right, Cory. Thank you again for the great work you guys are doing there at Indeed, and thank you for the time today. Really do appreciate it.
Excellent. Thank you for having me.
Glad to do it. And we thank your audience for tuning in to another great segment of Conversations Live. Until next time, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversations Live. Let's go make today amazing. Take care.